So coming to the first one, the class attributes and the instant attributes. Fine. So you people already know what actually a class is. Fine. A class is a user defined data type and it can be considered similar to that of a prototype or a blueprint. Fine. Whereas an object, it is an instance of a class. Fine. So the objects are created by a class which can be considered as an instance of a class. Now once again, when we consider only with respect to the attributes, fine, the attributes of the class, they can be considered as a variables or the properties of the class. Fine. So the attributes, they always represents the properties of the class. So if you want to just make an analogy, you can just compare your attributes similar to that of variables. Fine. Now we'll see what actually the difference between the class attributes and the instance attributes. So your user defined classes in Python have two types of attributes. The first one, it is called as class attributes. The second one, it is called as instance attributes. Coming to these class attributes, so these class attributes are the attributes defined inside the class, whereas the instant attributes are defined for individual objects. Fine. So that is one difference between a class attribute and an instant attribute. The class attributes are defined inside the class, whereas an instant attributes, they are defined for individual objects. Fine. And one more difference, if I just take between the class attributes and the instant attributes, is the class attributes are shared by all the objects created from that class. Fine. Whereas an instant attributes, they are available only for the instance or on an object. Fine. So the class attributes, whatever the attributes we are going to define inside the class, they are common to all the objects of that class. Fine. Whereas the instant attributes, they are available only for that instance or that object. And also coming to the instant attributes, attributes of one instance are not available for another instance of the same class. So that is one more thing with respect to the instant attributes. It is nothing but the attributes of one instance are not available for another instance of the same class. So this is how we have two different types of attributes. The one is the class attributes, the second one is the instance attributes. Fine. Now we'll take up with, we'll see, okay, how we can just rectify which are the class attributes and which are the instant attributes. Fine. Now if I just consider, I'll take up the yesterday's example itself. I'll define a class by the name that is point. Fine. And once again, within the class, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just, okay, creating an empty class. Here I'll create two objects, one with p1 of point. Fine. It is nothing but p1 is an instance of the class point. Then once again I'll create one more object p2, which is also an instance of class point. Fine. It is nothing but here p1 is an object, p2 is an object. Now coming to this p1, fine, for the object p1 I create, okay, two attributes with the name, I'll take it as p1 dot x equals to some value that is 10 and p2 dot x equals to some value that is 30. Fine. And finally I would like to print the values of p1 and p2. I'll use the print statement, print, okay, p1 dot x, fine, comma, once again p2 dot x. Fine. So these are the attributes. Now if I just execute it, sorry, this should be p1 dot, sorry, p1 dot y. Fine. Now you can see here, fine, for the object p1 we have created two attributes, that is x and y. Fine. Now here the attributes x and y, these two attributes, they are called as instance attributes. Fine. So your attributes x and y are called as instance attributes because they are available only for that particular object. Fine. When I was telling about the instance attributes, I told these instant attributes, they are defined for individual objects. So the attribute x and y, they are defined for the individual object, that is p1. Fine. Also, the attributes of one instance are not available for another instance. Fine. If you want to just take an example of this, so the attributes that is x and y of one instance are not available for another instance of the same class. If I just tell that, okay, print, okay, p2 dot x, fine. So it is nothing but this is an attribute of this object, that is p1, fine. So the attribute of one instance, fine, are not available for another instance of the same class, fine. Even this p2 is an object of the class, that is point only, it is an instance of the class point. So just execute this, you can see you will get an error telling that the point object has no attribute, fine. So these types of attributes, they are called as instance attributes, fine. Now coming to the next, we'll see what actually the class attributes are, fine. Now if I just consider here, fine, the same example, okay, I'll consider, okay, the same example with the same class. So class once again of point type, fine. Now here I'll define two variables, fine. I'll define two variables, one with x equals to some value, okay, then again I'll with y equals to, I'll give it of string type, and z equals to some value, I'll give it as, okay, I'll give it as 40, fine. Now you can see here x, y, z are the attributes that are defined where within the class. Now these attributes, they are called as class attributes, fine. Here the class attributes are x, y, z. X is assigned with the value that is 10, y is assigned with the value of a string type that is global, and z is assigned with the value that is 40. Now after creating a class with its class attributes, I'll define once again, okay, an instance of the class that is p1, where p1 is an object. Then once again I'll create one more instance, that is p2 of class 1. Now when I was telling about these class attributes, what I told, these class attributes shared by all the objects created from the class. It is nothing but these objects or these attributes are common to all the objects of this class. It is nothing but we have two objects, one is p1 and p2. So these three attributes, they are common for both of these objects. So if I just take here, just see here, I'll do print, fine. I'm not declaring or not okay, once again declaring any attributes within the object, just keep telling p1 dot x, comma, then once again p1 dot, what is the thing, I'll print the value z, fine. Now just run this, you can see, okay, print p1 dot x, p1 dot z, 10 and 40. So the attributes are used by the object, what is the object, that is p1. In the similar way for p2, I'll just use print, okay, once again I'll just use p2 dot, okay, I'll take it as y, just execute this, then once again you'll get, okay, the value as what, global, fine. So here x, y, z, they are called as class attributes, and these attributes, they are shared by all the objects of that class. It is nothing but these three attributes or any attributes that are considered as a class, that are once again declared within the class, they are common to all the objects of that class, fine. So this is how there is a difference between, okay, the class attributes and the instance attributes, fine. So any user defined classes you take into consideration, there are two different types of attributes. One is the class attributes, the second one is the instance attributes. Now here if you want to just create one more attribute, just create it s equals to, okay, once again I'll take it as isc, fine. Now even you can print here, so p1 dot, yes, fine. Okay, we have to print separately, just print it and check, it will print. So here s is an attribute of which one, that is p1, fine. So this is the difference between your class attributes and instance attributes. Now moving to the next, fine, we'll see about these three topics, that is object of one class is made as attribute for object of another class. The second one is returning objects from functions, and third one is the objects are mutable. Fine. Coming to the objects, so these three are the things that we are going to look into by considering some example where returning objects from functions, we are returning object itself, okay, from the function defined. Then objects are mutable, it is nothing but we can once again change the values. Fine. Object of one class is made as an attribute for object of another class. Fine. Now we'll look into these three properties of the object by considering a simple example. Fine. The example that I have considered here is example of creating a class called rectangle. Fine. It is nothing but I want to create what? A rectangle in a space. Fine. So a rectangle can be created by using any one of the following data. Fine. I want to create a rectangle. A rectangle can be created using any one of the following data. One is by what? By knowing the width and height of the rectangle and one corner point. Okay. Ideally a bottom left corner point in a coordinate system. Or even a rectangle can be created by knowing two opposite corner points. Fine. If we just take an example what actually that is fine. Fine. It is something like, fine, so I want to create a rectangle. You can create a rectangle either by using the first one, that is knowing width and height, or by using what? The corner points. And they are told, okay, in a space I want to create a rectangle. Fine. Now suppose consider this as your space, somewhere there is a corner point. Fine. In this space at this corner point, fine, by knowing what? The width and the height, I can create a rectangle. So once again, at that corner point, if I know the height, if I know the width, fine, what I can do? I can create what? A rectangle. It is nothing but once again I should know somewhat the corner point. Fine. So this is your corner point which is representing the coordinate. Okay. So which is representing the coordinate, that is x, once again followed by y. Fine. And this is your width and this is your height. So this is one way of creating a rectangle. The second way of creating a rectangle is what? By knowing two opposite corner points. It is nothing but, consider, fine, there are two points that are present. Fine. So by using these two corner points, what I can do? I can just once again create what? A rectangle. Fine. So this is the ways of creating a rectangle. So what we'll be doing is we'll be taking, okay, this way of creating a rectangle. Fine. And I'll demonstrate how all the three properties of the objects can be done. That is, objects are mutable. Once again, what is the other one? Returning an object from the function, as well as how the object of one can be used as an attribute in the other class. Fine. So this is what we are going to study. Fine. Now coming to that, fine. So that is what we are doing here. Now with respect to this rectangle, what we are doing is write a class rectangle, fine, containing the numeric attributes. What are the attributes? One is width, the second one is height. Fine. This class should contain another attribute. You can see here, this class should contain another attribute, the corner, fine, which is an instance or which is an object of which one now? The class point. Fine. So that is what we are doing. I'm just explaining the first property here. Object of one class is made as an object of another class. So here what we are doing here, so just create a class rectangle. Fine. To this class rectangle, whenever you create an object and that object consists of two attributes. One is width and height. Fine. Whereas create one more, okay, that is of what? Point type, the class, where this class is having what? An instance. Okay, another attribute, corner. So this corner is an attribute of what? Okay, the object of the rectangle, which is also an instance of what? The class point. Fine. Now to represent this, we are using what? Implement the following functions. A function print corner point to print once again the center points of the rectangle. Then once again a function find center to compute the center point of the rectangle. Fine, I need to define once again a separate function find center to compute the center point of the rectangle. Once again a function resize to modify the size of the rectangle, where this is the function that is going to tell us how objects are mutable. Fine, that is nothing but how the state of the objects can be changed by changing the values of the attributes of that particular object. Fine, that is what we are going to do here. Now we'll start implementing this. So it is nothing but something like, okay, I'll show you here where something similar to this. We have a class rectangle. Fine. So we have a class rectangle here. Once again we have a class point here, where rectangle has got an instance or an object that is box. This instance or an object has got two attributes of its own. One is width and height. Fine. So this box has also one more attribute. Fine. But where this attribute is an instance of which one now? That is point. It is nothing but the point is a class which has an object corner. This corner is an instance of the class point, where this instance itself is acting as what? An attribute of some other object of different class. Fine. So this is what we are supposed to implement it. So coming to this is something like this we are supposed to do it. In the similar way, whenever they have asked one more function here, what is that one more function? The find center function. So we need to calculate the rectangle find center. It is nothing but, suppose if I consider a rectangle, okay, suppose if I consider a rectangle, fine, then once again the corner points of the rectangle, I'll consider this as the corner points of the rectangle, that is going to represent the x and y coordinate value. So this is representing what? X and y coordinate value. Fine. And this is your width and this is your height. I need to calculate what? The center point of the rectangle. So how I can calculate the center point of the rectangle? So this center point of the rectangle can be calculated by considering the coordinate value x, because this point can be anywhere in the space. It is not with always 0, 0. Fine. Initially, I'll start developing the program by using x value and y value as 0, 0. Later, we can change the value of x and y coordinates and find the center of the rectangle. So x equals to 0 and y equals to 0. I want to find the center point of the rectangle. If I want to find out the center value of the width, then how I can do? Since this is your x coordinate, it is, okay, once again x, that is this x coordinate value plus, okay, what I need to do? I need to take width value divided by what? That is 2. Fine. Once again height, how can I calculate? Once again y plus, okay, then once again y represents this thing, so height divided by 2. Fine. So this gives the center point of a rectangle with respect to the height and what? That is width. So this is what the operation we are going to do. Now coming to this, okay, we are supposed to create how many class now? 2 class. One is the class rectangle, the second one is the class point. Okay, so let's start creating it. So class, fine, the first class is rectangle. Fine. Now you just see here in the previous example, whatever we considered, we used to create a empty class. Fine. So here what I'll do is, I'll write some statement here telling that this defines rectangle. Fine. So this defines rectangle. So here whatever I have written here, this is nothing but a string of which one now? The class rectangle. Fine. Now whenever I want to print this, so this whatever the string that we are defining within the class, this is called as doc string. That is nothing but the documentation string. Fine. Now if I want to print this string, fine, I can do it. So print, fine, within which one now? The class is what? Rectangle. So just give rectangle followed by dot. We have an attribute, okay, that is going to just print all the strings that is defined within the class. The name of the attribute is doc. You have to do it by giving 2 underscore followed by the attribute name, that is doc, once again followed by 2 underscores. Fine. So here it is nothing but, fine, so here underscore underscore doc underscore underscore, it is an attribute that provides a documentation of an object. Fine. So whatever the documentation we give within the class, the documentation of an object is provided by the attribute that is underscore underscore doc, okay, followed by underscore underscore. This is for the class rectangle. Fine. So this can also be used for the objects also, as well as for the class also. If you just run it, can you see here, whatever the doc string, that is documentation string defined within the class, has been printed here. Fine. So this is one attribute that we are going to use. Give the name of the class followed by the dot. Here this is two underscores. You have to give two underscores followed by the attribute name is doc. Once again followed by what? Two underscores. Just execute this. You can see whatever we are defined here, that has been printed as an output here. Fine. Then once again, what is the next thing we are supposed to do? We are supposed to create one more class. What is the class? That is point. So I'll create one more class by the name that is point. Fine. So within the point, I'll give one more thing. So what is the some value I need to do? So represent the coordinate values. Okay, so represent the coordinate values. In the similar way, if you want to print it, you can print it telling that print point dot underscore underscore doc followed by underscore underscore. You can see this string will be printed as a output. Fine. Now after this, what we are supposed to do is, fine. Now you can see the question here, what they have told, find a rectangle containing the numeric attributes, okay, width and height. Fine. Now once again, your rectangle is something like what? A box. So what I'll do, I'll create an object or an instance of rectangle by the name box, which is of an instance of the class. Okay, I'll just tell you as rectangle. Fine. Box is an object or it is an instance of the class, that is rectangle. Now to this thing, I need to once again create how many attributes? Two attributes. One is height, again one more is what? That is width. So what I'll do, I'll give, okay, box dot, fine. So these two are called as instance attributes. So box dot excuse, width equals to 100, and once again box dot equals to 200. Fine. So these two are the instant attributes, because these attributes are defined for which one? For the object that is box. Now next, what they have told is, fine, then it should have one more attribute. So box should have what? One more attribute. So it is nothing but box dot corner. It must have one more attribute, which is an instance of another class point. If I want to make this as an instance of another class point, what I should do? I should give the class name here. Fine. So what I am making here, fine, an attribute of an object, fine, is made as an instance of what? Another class. So what is the class here? That is point. Fine. Now when I was drawing the rectangle, your point should have what? The x coordinate and the y coordinate. So even here, whenever I'm drawing a rectangle, what I told, there must be some starting point, x comma y. Now here, okay, the attributes are created for this object, okay, box dot corner object. So box dot, okay, corner dot x, I'll start with 0 0 position. Then once again box dot corner dot y, which is equal to 0. Fine. So the first property I have told here, what is the thing? Object of one class is made as attributes of for object of another class. So this is how we are going to make here. Fine. So this is once again object of one class. Fine. So this is once again an attribute of this object, which is also made as an instance of what? One more new class. Fine. So the attribute of one object is made as an instance of what? Another class. So this is how we are just going to make it. Now after doing this, what they have told is what? Fine. A function find, okay, write a function find center to compute the center point of the rectangle. Now I'll see, while defining this definition, we'll see how to return objects from the function. Fine. So we'll see how to return the objects from the function. Now we have defined all these things. Now after this, what I want to do, I want to once again find the center. So just called find the center. Find the center of which object? That is your box. Fine. So just pass this object as an parameter or an argument to the function. Now I want to define this function, so let's define that function now. So defining the function is done by using def followed by the name of the function is find underscore center. Once again, fine, if you want to just check what is the type here, just give print box dot corner. You can see, okay, the output will be returned as an object with the memory location, that is box dot corner. Your box is an object by itself, but box dot corner is also an object of which instance now, or which class? It is a point class. So box dot corner is an instance of the class point, fine, where this is also an attribute of which one? The object of another class, fine. So just print the value here. You can see it is going to return the output as object with the memory location. So once again, def find center. So once again, I want to pass the parameter. I'll pass it later. Fine. Now since I want to return the object, what I'll do, I'll create one more object of, okay, point type within this function. Fine. Now I need to calculate what? The center value. How I'm going to calculate now? Here it is x plus w divided by 2, then once again y plus s divided by 2. Since I'm creating once again a new object of point, so this I'll consider, okay, telling that, okay, x equals to, okay, of the object type, then once again y equals to, I'm going to consider, make these two as the attributes of the object. What is the object now? That is p. P is an instance of the class. To this object I'm going to define two attributes. One is p dot x, the second one is p dot y. Fine. Where p dot x, it is going to calculate the middle value of the width. This is the middle value of the height. Now where is width here? It is box dot width. So I'm passing this box itself as an object, okay. The object is passed as an argument to the function. What is the function now? That is find under center. Now this box has got how many attributes now? It has got box dot width, box dot height, once again box dot corner dot x, box dot corner dot y. So here what I'll do, instead of taking the name of the box itself, the same name, I'll take the alias name of the box. I'll take it as rect. It is nothing but this is box. I'm just giving a pet name similar to something like the pet name for this object box as what? That is rect. Fine. So here what I'm doing here, I want to take which value now? X value. So it is rect, then followed by dot, then followed by corner dot x, fine, plus I need to take which one? Box dot width. It is nothing but I need to replace with the alias name rect dot width by what? That is 2. Fine. In the similar way, what we are going to do, we are going to find the middle point of the height. Once again, rect dot corner corner dot y, once again plus rect dot height once again divided by what? That is 2. Fine. So this is what is done. Now what I want to show now, returning objects from the function. Fine. So what I'll do, I'll return what now? Object. Till now we saw how to pass an object as an argument to the function. Okay, in the previous example or in the previous class, okay, we passed an object as an argument to the function, but we had not returned any value. Okay, that is the value of the object. Here I'm returning what? P. P is what? An object. Fine. So if P is an object, so this P is associated with how many attributes? 2 attributes, that is X and Y. Fine. So it is going to return how many values now? 2 values. So return it. So I need to once again store this value. Fine. So this center again, it will become an object. Fine. If you want to just see, just print once again center. Fine. So I'll execute the program. You can see this center is once again, okay, converted to an object. It is not printing the value of what? Since I have given here, it is not finding, okay, returning the value 50 and 100. Since it is, once again, I'm returning an object, even I'm returning this as an object. Now, since center is an object, even this center is associated with how many attributes now? 2 values, that is X and Y. Fine. Now what we'll do, I'll define one more function, fine, to print what the center values of which one, that is a rectangle. So what I'll do, I'll give def, okay, print underscore, I'll do what, point, fine. To this, what I'm sending now, I'm sending once again the parameter. I need to send a parameter to which one now, to find or to print it. So what I'll do here, fine, I'll call that function. What is the function now? Print underscore point, fine. To this point I'm passing what, an object. What is the object I need to give now? That is center, fine. So I'll remove this. I'm giving center. So here when it comes here, fine, it has to take the input. I'll take it as RECT only, fine. If you don't want, okay, I'll take it as what again, I'll take it as P object. Then once again, when I just here, I need to print it. So print, excuse, so print the value. So print, okay, I'll give percentage D, percentage G. So I'm using the string format for printing the values here. So once again, percentage of, okay, P dot X comma P dot Y. Fine. So call this, and you are just calling this, run this. What is the error issue? Okay, just here it should be P, not capital P. Can you see here the center point of the rectangle? It is 50 and 100. So what was the previous value? Width was 100, height was 200. I want to find the center point of the rectangle, so this has to become what, 50, and this has to become what, 100. Now I started the corner point from where the x and y coordinate value with what, 0 0. I can change here, and again I can just find the center point. You can see here it has changed to 60 and 20. So it is taking the value starting from 10 and 20, the coordinate values. From there it is what, once again creating a rectangle of width 100 and height, that is 200. Fine. So here this is what the function that is representing the second property of the object, returning objects from where, from the function. Fine. So returning objects from the function is what this function is representing, where I'm creating an object, okay, within this function, and this object is associated with two attributes, that is x and y, which is calculating the center point of the rectangle. Then I'm returning here not x and y, but returning the object itself from this function. So this is returned as an object, and once again, since I have made a call from here, so this is returned back here and it is stored in this. Once again, this will be acting as what, an object. Fine. So after this, what I am doing here, I am doing just print followed by what, that is center. So I am calling again a function here, print underscore point. So where it is printing what, both x and P dot y, which is nothing but, since this center is also an object, even it has been associated with how many values now. So this is nothing but, it is just an alias of which one, the object P, which is having how many attributes, two attributes, two values, that is x and y value, where it is calculating what, the center point of what, the rectangle. So I'm calling this print function, define function, then printing the values here. Fine. If you want to print the value something similar within the brackets, you can just print it. So this is the string format specifier we are using here. If you want to give here F, you can give here. If you want to give here D, you can give here. D stands for decimal, F stands for floating point, G similar to your decimal format specifier. Fine. Now after that, what we are supposed to do? So we saw with the property of the first property, how the object of one class is made as an attribute for object of another class. We also saw how the returning of objects from the function. So this is just an example that we are showing, okay, to demonstrate the properties of the objects, which is are nothing but an instance of the class. Now we'll check with the last one, that is objects are mutable. Fine. So coming to this, objects are mutable. Fine. State of an object can be changed by modifying any of its attributes. Fine. So whenever you consider any object, the state of the object, suppose if you consider here, if I consider this box as an object, fine, the state of the object or this particular object can be changed, or okay, or can be changed, or modification can be done by modifying, okay, any of its attributes. If I just modify any of these attributes, it is nothing but what, the state of an object is changed, telling that we can tell that these objects are mutable. Immutable is nothing but we cannot change it. Mutables are the one where we can change the values. Fine. I think you people are aware with the difference between the mutable and immutable. Your strings are immutable, whereas lists are mutable. So you already know that. So in a similar way, here the objects are mutable. It is nothing but the state of an object can be changed by modifying any of its attributes. Fine. Now to demonstrate this particular property, what we'll do is we'll just use, or we'll just try to write what, a function. What is the name of the function now? That is resize, where this is going to modify the size of the rectangle. Initially, fine, the size of this rectangle width is what, 100, then once again it is 200. Now what I'll do, I'll change or modify the attributes value of these objects by adding some extra values. Fine. Then after that, whatever the values I'm adding, so based on those values, a rectangle has to be created. Fine. Now what we'll do, we'll define a function. I'll define a function. What is the name of the function? I'll define a function by the name, that is resize. Fine. I'll pass the parameters or the arguments later. Fine. Now before that, fine, I'll call the function. What is the function now? That is resize function, where to this resize function I need to pass the object. What is the object? To modify the attributes of this and this, I need to once again pass the object as an argument. So pass what? As an argument. Then I need to alter the values or modify the values of what? Width and height. I'll modify the values, the first one with 20, the second one with 40. Fine. It is nothing but it has to change the value, this to 120 and this to 240, then find what? The center of the rectangle. Fine. Now here resize, when it comes to box 20 and 40, it is nothing but how many arguments I need to give as an input to this function. Now here also I need to pass 3 formal arguments or the parameters. So what I'll do, I'll just take it as rect. Then once again, so this is what? This is my width value. I give it as W. Then once again, this is what? The height value. I'll give it as H. So rect W comma followed by H. So here 3 arguments, again here 3 arguments. Fine. Then here what I'm going to do, I'm going to modify these 2 attributes. So how I'm going to do? So this is just nothing but the alias name of which one? The object, that is box. So here what I'm going to do here is once again rect rect. Okay, I need to modify which value? Width. So that is width. Okay, plus, okay, equals to, this has to be modified with which value now? Okay, here the argument that I'm considering is what? That is W. So just give here as what? That is W. Fine. Again next is what? Rect dot height. Okay, plus equals to, I need to provide which one now? That is H. Fine. It is nothing but this is similar to something like, okay, width, width equals to, okay, width plus W. Fine. I'm just using this operator for doing this operation. Fine. If you want to replace with this, you can also do it. Rect dot width equals to, what you need to do? Again, rect dot width plus W, not only just with width plus W. Fine. You had to give rect dot width equals to rect dot width plus W. In a similar way, rect dot height equals to rect dot height plus followed by H. Fine. So I'm resizing it. Fine. So here what I'll do, after resizing or modifying the attributes value, fine, again I want to do what? I need to find out once again, Okay, the center point of the rectangle, it is nothing but I'll call these two functions again. You can just okay, modify this program by giving the printf statement wherever that is required, telling that you can specify one printf statement here telling that okay, the center point of the rectangle before modification, print statement again here, the center of the rectangle after modification, again printf statement, okay, telling that okay, enter the values for resizing your rectangle. So all this printf statement can be once again written to your program for your easy understanding. You can just do it. Fine. So again I'm calling the function, I'm resizing here. Now just run the program. You can see here. Fine. So first, before resizing it, the value is 60 and 120. After resizing it is nothing but I'm adding 20, then once again followed by what, the 40. Fine. Why it is okay, 20 plus 10 is then 100. So once again see, if I just take half value also, it is as to represent in decimal, but since I am given here g, it is going to represent in the form of what, integer value. So that's why we are getting here 70 followed by 140. You just change the format specifier here, you can see the values also in the form of decimal point. Fine. So this is how a resizing of the attributes of an object can be done, which tells that the objects are immutable. Fine. So these are the three important properties of the object, where an object of one class is made as attribute for object of another class, where that property is explained by defining this function. Sorry, not that one. That is once again by using this instance. Okay, creating an instance of which one, of point type, which is an attribute of the object of the other class. So this is what the first property of the object is representing. The second one, coming to the second one, returning objects from functions. So that is once again demonstrated by using what, by defining this particular function. Fine. And third one, once again the objects are mutable. This is demonstrated once again by using, okay, defining the function. What is the function? That is resize function. Fine. So I have considered this example just to demonstrate the properties of this object. Fine. So this is what is the takeaway from today's class, where we saw what is the difference between a class attributes and the instance attributes. And once again, okay, the properties of the object, something like the returning objects from functions, objects are mutable, and object of one class is made as an attribute for object of another class. Fine. So this is what all about for today's class.